All right, we're live. Welcome to Garden Talk with Sally. Today, I have a bunch of garden work to do, so I thought, you know what, I'll come hang out and chat with people. Um, and you can kind of see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis to kind of see how this works. If anybody has watched any of my garden streams, you know that it's a little more complicated to keep the camera and everything going the way I want it to. So bear with me. Hopefully we won't lose connection so you can't really see me. Hi, Fox. How are you doing today? So I'm going to try to get this set up to where we can see what I'm doing. So I have a bunch of basil that you can see over here that needs trimming. So I thought I would chat with you guys. So I'll try to keep up with the chat and you can kind of just see what I'm doing. And then, oops, sorry about that. You have moved the plant destroyers. All right, I think you're going to be able to get a good view down there of what I'm doing. So it's going to be a little bit further away, different than normal. But I'm going to come and we'll check chat. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll kind of just chit chat with you. If you have questions and you want to have anything in particular you want to talk about, just let me know. Maybe if I do that higher and turn that down. Hold on. Just trying to get the right angle. On my phone, it doesn't allow me to zoom in and out, so it's kind of hard to get it set up right at start. All right, I think that's going to work. All right, so I've got all this basil over here. I got a bunch of peppers to carrot. And hopefully you can hear me okay. So all this basil, let's see if you can see me over here. So all this basil over here is crowning, right? I'm getting all these flowers, and I need to get rid of them, or else the plant will think that it's done with the growing season. And oh, I forgot. Hold on, I go get my oil. Have some oil and slipper. 3 seconds. I don't have to. My shirt. Just a little bit. Every time I come out hard lately, start getting the sniffles. So it's bound the plant. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I finally, it's like last 3 days, I've got some really good sleep, so I'm feeling nice and charged up. So I've got, this is what I use, just garage door silicone. This is what I use for all of my plants, or for all of my stuff outside versus WD-40. But I left them out here and it rained, so they're sticking just a little bit. Hey, Julian, how are you? So, like I said, I won't see chat as much, but I'm going to come check it periodically. So, got all these that I've got to top off. Oh, that's much easier. Now that I oiled these, this is a lot easier. And I'm just going to leave all of this stuff on the ground so I can replenish it. Just going to leave it here and let it decompose on the ground here. Put what it's taken from the soil back to the soil. I'll probably move some of them over to my tomatoes and just put them on the ground by the tomatoes and let them break down over there. There's a scent in basil that a lot of bugs don't like, so maybe it'll help. This year, surprisingly, I do not have a huge issue with aphids, and I think, why is this sticky? It's kind of like with aphids, but I think it's because I had the worst hornet outbreak. So I'm going to be curious to see if now, if I start to have a huge aphid outbreak on my tomato plant. So if I do, it's going to be a struggle because I sure hate the hornets. I'm not quite sure if you can see, just going down to the stem of where it's starting to flower and just cutting it off. Fox, I'm so jealous of your cute cats. Like, I don't want to own a cat, but I love kitty cats. But for whatever reason, they love me. And I let these get way too out of control. Usually I trim these like on the regular. Like when I come out to the garden, I just trim everything every day. But I've been kind of in a funk, but now I'm out of my funk, which is good. Everyone gets in a funk, and this is my happy place. The wasp infestation didn't help me one bit. Maybe I'll move that closer so you can actually see what I'm doing. No, we have really dry heat here. So it has a bad bed. I'm going to see if I can move this a little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can lower this down. So you're not going to see me as much, but you'll be able to see actually how I'm cutting these. Let's see, I think that'll work. Let's see. Be careful how I move this through here with wire trap I have set up here. Let's see, one more lower, I think. I've said this before, but there's a reason why people don't do live garden streams, because unless you have a camera person out maneuvering everything, it's a little more difficult. So if you can see right down, you can see this stem here. So I'm just cutting right in there, and there's going to be some more that are going to flower. So I'm actually cut just a little bit lower. When do you go back to Florida? Pretty soon, right? I thought you went back in the next couple weeks. So the reason why I don't want these to flower and go to waste, because I'll use all this basil to make some homemade spaghetti sauce. And I make it in huge batches, and then I can it. And it's like every time we do a family function or whatever, everybody always wants me to bring the homemade spaghetti sauce. Like when we go to Lake Powell and try to make easy dinners. Yeah, let this get way too out of control. My plants are so big this year. Holy cow. You still can't really see me, but hopefully you can see kind of what I'm doing. Do you like the up closer view or the further away view? Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Oh, hi, Sam, just Sam. Okay, now I think I'm caught up. But so live garden streams are harder, Sam. They're harder for me to be present. But Julian, people in there, was it better when it was further away with the camera, or do you like it up close better? As you see what I'm doing, then I'm a bit further away because it'll be easier for me to maneuver and not have to keep moving the camera. Whew. Snafu, now that you um, talk about it, it is kind of muggy today. I wonder if it's going to storm. I think we sent all of our storms back east. I think all you guys got all the brunt of our storms. And anybody who's watching from Twitch, yeah, I think further away is better too. So I was going to move it back. Just want to give you a close up. Just give me one sec. What I need to do is take a donation jar for a new stand for my equipment. Is there a movie night tonight? So we are going to watch Good Omens 2 tonight. We're going to try to power through it again. So it should be fun for those who watched the first one with us. So I slept in today so that I will be nice and awake all night. Should be fun. So obviously I'm not going to be able to read your chats for just a minute from this far away. I'll trim a couple and then I'll go check and see where we're at. So these are totally filled with bees. Not terrified of the bees. The only things that scare me are the hornets. Bees don't really bother you unless you're trying to bother them. The hornets were so bad that I couldn't even come out here and trim anything in the garden. I guess I could have put on a bunch of protective gear, but it's too warm for that. And I needed to get some sun today. Oh, been inside, wasting all the pool days, and the nights are starting to finally get cooler. Maybe I'll finish this when I'm done in the garden. I'll end on YouTube and just go straight over to Twitch only and take a swim for a minute. If I jump crazy, it's because I'm petrified of bugs. If I get bitten by something, you'll know it. There'll be no stream tonight. Just kidding. I'm trying to think. Does anybody have anything garden question related that I can answer for you? I'll trim a couple more of these and then come check the chat. Got some really huge peppers this year. It's the biggest production of them I've had. My tomatoes this year. Ooh, this basil. I love the smell of fresh cut basil. I don't know what's wrong with me. Trimming these back like this will cause them to green up too. Just a little bit. Right, this is the best basil crop. What I'll probably have to start doing is start trimming some of my basil leaves off and just put them directly into the freezer to kind of seal their flavor, preserve them, so that when it comes time for doing my spaghetti sauces, they're just ready to go. What? I'm out here. What do you need? I'm on stream. What do you need, sweetie? Do you need something? Do you need money? Is that what you're asking? Need? Oh, I'll put my tank. You did? Oh, cool. Did you need something? No. Okay. Kids. I say, I'm going to go out in the garden and stream right away. Okay, Mom. Hey, Mom, are you streaming yet? No. The hornet's nest is attached to my house. I can't do that. Trust me, I would do that in a heartbeat. Don't need my house going up in flames. So anyway, so I was talking about my peppers and my pepper production. Um, a big thing that, so I've always done my garden a certain way, and I've just done it by like my kind of like my instincts from my mom's taught me, and like learning from my grandparents. So I come from a long line of like farmers, cattle ranchers, that type of thing, right? So I've always planted my tomato plants 18 inches apart. I measured out, guaranteed 18 inches apart, right? So I was watching some YouTube videos and this guy's on there and like seemed pretty reputable, had really fancy videos, like good editing and production or whatnot, right? So I'm just me and I'm small, and I work my own camera, learn how to work my own mic and stuff. So I'm like, oh, this guy must know what he's talking about. So you know what? I'm gonna try what he did. He's like, oh, if you grow this type of tomato, you can plant them 6 inches apart, and you'll still get lots of production. Okay. So I'm like, oh, this guy seems really smart. And I did a video on it. That I learned that you can do that. You can trim them or whatnot. And this year is it the least amount of tomato. I mean, they're big. The actual fruit on there is big, but I normally have big fruit anyway. But it's the least amount of production that I have had on my tomatoes as far as height, and that type of thing. So next year, when I do my tomatoes, or the year, I'll have to do a video specific on that. For me, it didn't work in my particular garden. So it's kind of like everyone has to kind of figure out what really works for them. But for me, it didn't work out. I wasn't happy about it. The good thing, however, is I already have lots of salt to put up. I don't think I've even tapped into last year's stuff that I have bottled up, and spaghetti sauce. So I'd be okay till next year. But I always like to be ahead of it and throw out my old, whatever I haven't used from years back. I like to recycle through it. It's kind of like using your food storage, but keeping it stocked up. So that's a lesson learned this year. So next year I'll be definitely changing it. And if the actual plants are healthy, but they're just not growing like they normally do. There's these little weird black bugs that like to get on my skin. Before we end this video, we'll have to go check out the watermelons I showed you guys last week and see if they're getting any closer to being ready to be picked. That would be nice to have a nice fresh watermelon straight from the garden. So I think last week I took you guys through and I showed you the pumpkins, and I could see some parts where they were starting to die. And you know me, I don't like to use any sprays or poisons in my garden, but there was an infestation of pumpkin beetles starting to grow in my pumpkins, and they will kill. They reproduce like aphids. They reproduce very, very quickly, and they can destroy your crop or your plant in like a few days. So the other night I had to come out here and cut off all the infected leaves and remove them from the garden. Hopefully, last year I wasn't able to get out there as much, and they totally just about killed all my crop. Still had quite a few pumpkins, but not as many as I usually get. This plant trimming actually is my biggest pain in the butt plant that I hate to trim. They start to flower like super quick. There, that looks better. No kids, 3 cats. Need my camera like that tall. Hold on. Ooh, this one's a little bit dry. This one I think needs a little bit of water. Taking some of this, these flowers off will actually allow all the nutrition to go to the leaves for a bit. Peppers. So say these are the biggest peppers I've grown, and most of you who are in here already know. The one thing I did different this year, I've always done it with my tomatoes, but I've never done it with my other plants, is I put fish. So all the fish you guys saw me cut up the other week during our live stream, take all the leftovers and put them in the garden. But I actually had some leftover fish from last year, some striped bass that had freezer burn on them. And I could have fried them up and still been okay, but I just decided to put them in the garden. And each hole had like a half of a fish with some coffee grains that were already cooked and um, some eggshells for calcium with a little bit of Epsom salt in each hole. And they've done really well. I've never put mulch around my pepper plants before, so this year I took the leaves from the front yard from our big old tree and kind of just created some ground cover for them, keep the moisture in. Trying to think if there's anything interesting in the news that I've learned. I guess it's a Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. Means there will be some stuff happening in the news because, things always happen when it's a Friday, when the press is going home, or the mainstream, I should say. a lot of the bush off of there. Yeah, so when it starts to flower, I don't know if that question was for me, Julian. Um, when it starts to flower like that, you do want to trim it. I usually keep, can you see how that one's kind of turning kind of brown? So that one probably was flowering too long, because flowering is a plant's way of saying the life cycle of the plant is over. So a plant produces flowers which produce seeds. And once the seeds are produced, then the plant goes, oh, I've done my job. Now I can let the next generation take over. So once that's done, then the plant will start to die, right? So by trimming off the flowers, even with your regular flowers, trimming them off tricks them into keep producing more flowers because it's trying to survive. And so you're tricking it. Like this one for sure has been flowering for way too long. But these ones that are closer to the house, so I was able to trim some of the ones that are closer to or further away from the house as I was going, because the bees weren't, the hornets weren't as bad over there, right? These ones were just covered in hornets. There's a huge difference between the ones in the back and these ones. I don't think what crazy stories I've learned in the news. Have you guys seen the stuff where Ukraine is, how many billion more was Biden trying to give back to the war effort in Ukraine that is done? Like pretty much they're just throwing soldiers in the front lines, forcing them to go just to be blown up and killed. Oh, another crazy thing is I learned is in Ukraine, the soldiers who don't want to fight, because they're literally fighting in places where there's a bunch of dead bodies, and there's so many of them that um, they haven't been able to remove them or bury them. And so these soldiers don't want to fight. So the people in charge of them, so generals, higher ups, whatever, have threatened to throw grenades in on them and kill them if they don't fight. So this is a lot about people who are not really willing or wanting to fight for something they don't really believe in. It's kind of sad. And I bet you can't guess who is in first in line to go in and buy up all that land so they can put airstrips, bases. I'm not sure who in this world would want to, spend money on military stuff. So you guys can figure that one out. Their first name might not start with a B, and the last name be a rock. Someone was asking me not too long ago about growing like hydroponic food. I haven't done a ton of research into it, but I've just been thinking about it, just with like learning more about the soil and stuff. Just been kind of thinking about like when you do hydroponic, I got to do some research on it. But I'm just curious as to how um, you plant something in just water and it grows. How is your plant getting the nutrition that it needs? Uh, do you have to use artificial chemicals so that, or artificial like potassium, calcium, phosphorus, nitrogen? How? Except that I'm assuming that water does not have all those things in it naturally. I mean, microdoses of it maybe. I don't know, but it's just been a thought, and it's one of those dumb things in my head that I've been curious because your plants take from the soil what it needs, and if you don't have enough of something of that in the soil, then your plant doesn't thrive. Yeah, but where are they getting those nutrients? That's my big question. Is where on earth are they getting those nutrition from? That's kind of what I want to know. I'm trying to see if you can see those pepper plants. I think. Yeah, but that's my question though. Like, I haven't researched it, but where the powders? Is it just natural stuff that's a powder, or does it come from a chemical? So some of these peppers. Holy cow, this Anaheim pepper bush is ginormous. So some of these peppers from here. Look at how good these look. So these are the Anaheims. These are huge. I never grow them this big. So here's another one. Can you see that brown spot right there? That is most likely an earwig that's gotten in there, has been eating it. The outside will still be okay, but they crawl in there and eat the seeds. 100% dark fox. Huh, well, good. I'm gonna have to look into it. Not that I'll change the way I garden, but it'd be nice to know different ways of doing so in case land isn't an option. So I've got these pepper plants. Need to pick some of these guys. Some of these have some spots on it. Oh, that was just starting to wilt away. The pepper plants are super, super heavy because got lots of fruit on them. If I get these trimmed off, there's still quite a bit of flowering going on, so they should have another round of production before the fall. So some of these aren't quite as big as some of the others, but these are the green ones. And green peppers, if you leave them on the vine, will turn red. I planted more yellow peppers in my garden than I did green peppers. Because yellow peppers are what I use in my salsa. And they're a lot more expensive to buy. So each green pepper at my local grocery store, well, so it fell over. At the local grocery store, I could get about, I think, 2 yellow peppers for $2. So it's super expensive. And my salsa, for each batch I do, it calls for at least 10 yellow peppers and 10 green peppers. Hi, Owen. How are you? An easy day? Is your headache finally gone away? Are you feeling any better, I hope? Anyway, I had to come out and trim those. And I thought I would come out and, say hi. I've been slacking on my garden videos because I think, oh, who wants to see someone out in the garden trimming? But a lot of people seem to have interest in it. So I'll get messages on it. Oh, yeah. Do you not take a vitamin D3 supplement? You need to message me. I can't remember, Aowen. Do you have Twitter? If you do, follow. If you don't, then I'll find a different way to get a hold of you. Or you can, I can leave a message just on my main page on my locals. I don't have a locals my own page, but on Nick's page I have my own profile. And if I follow you, which I think I did last night, you can I can at least send a message there, post something there for you. Oh, that's not good. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the phone around. We're gonna go see before it gets dark if there's any um do watermelons there already. I'm not sure if they are, but we're gonna go look at the stems and see if they are. It's just kind of easy to put my phone on the stand. You can kind of see better what I see. Can you see all that? It's all it's all garden space behind there. So there's the watermelon patch, the pepper plant patch, and over there is the pumpkin patch. And I've got zucchinis on. So I want to. Hi, Elijah Perez. How are you? Oh, you want to see mussels again? There you go. You always want to just come in here and see mussels. There you go. I'll humor you. Um, let's go see. Oh, that's why I got distracted. So I've got zucchini on. Well, I'll come out here later and pick up all these things out here. All those vegetables I just cut. Can't leave them on the ground or they'll spoil. Um, but I got zucchinis, so I want to show you guys. I don't know who knows how to make zucchini bread, but there's ways you can make it with applesauce instead of oil. So it's a nice, somewhat healthy, sweet treat. There's sugar in it, but just the right amount. Okay, I'm gonna put my cam on pause for 1 second while I switch this around. All right, so here we go at the other side. And unfortunately, once again, I can't zoom. So let's go see if any of these are getting closer to being ready to be picked. Here's some of the bigger ones out here. And look for the stem. So I can't see the spoon. So I think, oh, there's the spoon. Oh, it should be right here. All right, this one's dang near ready to go. So can you see this brown thing right here? Once that's gone, And I don't see the spoon. Looks like it's fallen off. So there's the spoon. Let's see. Can you see the spoon right there? That's the spoon. So it's all dead, right? And there's a stem there. So I'm going to look at the underside of this and see if it's turning a little bit yellow. So it has a nice, good hollow sound to it. So see how it's starting to turn kind of yellow on the bottom? My first watermelon. Ha! You guys get to see this live on camera. My first watermelon is ready to pick. I wasn't quite sure. Hold on just a sec. I'll grab my trimmers. Yay, I'm so excited. I love fresh watermelon. Where did I just put those clippers? I'll show you what a spoon looks like. It's a leaf that just looks different than the others that kind of curls up like a spoon. So they call it a spoon. Last year when I was looking at my watermelons, I was looking at the wrong second leaf, right? So I was looking at this one here, and it's this one second away. So see how that's all brown like that? And when I pick this, you're going to see some sugar sap come out of here. Let's see if I can get this. Now I need a camera person. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down. You're gonna see nothingness for just a second. I'm gonna cut it and then I'm gonna show you. Show you how big this sucker is. No, I don't want to invite a guest. I do make this a lot easier on the computer to switch back and forth. There we go. What? Yeah, Mark put them in there. Yeah, you put them up there. Right, can you see this? You see how huge this guy is? It's got to be at least, let's see, at least 15 pounds. At least that much. See how there's got yellow on this backside right here? You see the yellow? That's when you know it's about done. So the spoon, I don't know if I can't see you, the sun's on my face. So the spoon, so that's my first one. And it's got some good juice coming out of the stem. Let's see if you can see. The sun's blocking my camera, so I can't see. There we go. Let's see. Can you see the juice coming out the end of it, the stem? It's a nice, juicy watermelon. Thank you, thank you. Take pride in my melons. Well, sweet. That just made my day, because guess what I get to have for dinner tonight? I get to have fresh watermelon, and I love it. I take it straight from the garden, even before I chill it. I might put it on the air conditioner for a second and chill it that way. Just on the AC unit, because it'll take it about 70 degrees, which is about right. Awesome. So I'm going to show you what a real spoon looks like real quick. And then I'll probably end on YouTube. And then I'm just going to go to Twitch for a minute and hang out for maybe like 10 minutes is all. In case anybody has any questions. Let's see. I'm going to have to turn the camera one more time, guys, so I can show you the spoon. So you saw what the spoon looked like when it was dead and broken, okay? And I'll show you what it looks like. Yay, I'm so excited, guys. You have no idea. This means I'll have about a watermelon every couple of days or every week, at least. All right, here we go. So this is another big one. Hopefully this one's not ready yet, because, oh, yep, you can see the spoon still on there. So that leaf I was talking about, see how it's different than the others? So that's what a normal leaf looks like. You see that? That's a normal leaf. This little thing coming out from there is the spoon. And this little guy, this little sticky thing, is the thing that needs to wilt off and break for it to be ready. Right there. So there we go. There's our watermelons. They're doing good. We've got a bunch more little tiny ones out in the outskirts. But I think that watermelon that I just showed you, it's doubled in size in the last week. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out on this fun. Let's see, switch one more time because I shouldn't show you my neighbor's house. That's not very nice of me. So you guys, does anybody have any questions before I go on basil? I mean, it's not really that complicated. At least to me, it's not complicated. But see you, Kyle. Bye, Fox. Yeah, there's actually plants in here, huh? It's kind of cool. Those flowers behind me. Can you see the ones coming up behind? Those big, huge velvet ones coming up over there. Those are kind of cool. Anyway, okay, guys, thank you for being here. I'm streaming tonight. Tonight I'm streaming. I slept in till, which I never do. I slept till 2:00 today. We're gonna watch Good Omens 2. I don't know if you watched the first one with us. Some people say it's good, some people say it's bad, but I just think we'll just do a good, fun binge watch tonight. So Sally P78 on Twitch. It's kind of like the more fun movie night. Let's hang out and chat and just have a good time. So you can go there. Tomorrow night we're going to do the old 2004, 2008 of The Punisher. Some people say it's good, some people say it's bad. I haven't seen it. So hopefully it's not so terrible that, hi Aowen, have a good night, that people don't want to come hang out. And then on Monday nights, every other week at 7 and every other week at 8, I'm streaming documentaries type stuff and kind of like analyzing and talk about it as a chat, our perceptions of it. There's a couple different ones that I want to do. There's one that I found that's really good. I watched a couple of it's a 10-part series. They're about 50 minutes long. So I might do them in 2 nights, like Sunday night and Monday night, followed by one movie afterward. But it's the rise and fall of Hitler. And it's more from a historical standpoint, like the psychology, the things that, the way he was, his upbringing, and different things that caused him to be bitter towards certain groups of people and to become desensitized or become, I guess, a creep, a monster, whatever you want to say about it. Like from that perspective, and just, it takes you through the different wars, which I think World War I and II are very interesting because history repeats itself. The more we know about history and the things that went into it, the more we can grow and change. So those will be on Rumble. It's the same handle, at Talk with Sally on Rumble. I'm doing them exclusively there because I want to talk openly. I want to talk openly about my thoughts, my feelings, without having to guard my tongue as much. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end on YouTube, but I'm going to stay on Twitch for about 15 minutes. So if you bear with me while I try to figure out how I do that via mobile, okay? So I'm going to I'm turning off my cam so I don't give you views that you shouldn't. So I shouldn't give you views that are not intended to be on here. Let's see. Don't know if I can do that here. I might not be able to go straight over to Twitch. I might just start a separate stream. Let's see if I go to end, what it does. All right. It's not going to allow me to do that, guys. So those who want to come hang out on Twitch for a minute, you're welcome to do so. If not, have a great night. And I will see you. I haven't decided if I want to start at 9 or 8, but I will get a notification sent out sooner than later. And I will see you guys all soon. Have a great rest of your